All right, pure strike there, brother. And
Cheers,
one of
bro.
the keys to that sort of shot was that you certainly weren't keeping your head down, right?
No, definitely not.
And you work with a lot of players, and we were just talking recently before we started this lesson here about a player who is specifically forcing to keep their head down for as long as they possibly can.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is just explore some of your ideas around that.
Yeah. So basically, to me, it's probably the most common talked issue, right? You got to keep looking at the ball. You got to keep your head down to make sure you hit a pure strike.
Well, it's right there. Why wouldn't you?
I mean, right there, the problem is the golf ball is really in the way of your golf swing.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not really the object we're trying to just hit at. And I think that connects to a lot of different points.
Yeah.
But if we're going to the head down, the problem is you're probably going to end up chunking it or topping it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to really struggle of extending and rotating the body towards your target, releasing the club to where you want to release it towards to. And that's why it's not a good idea, in my opinion.
Okay, so let's set up to the golf ball there, and let's talk about that player specifically, who is chunking it, and let's see you demonstrate really the typical motion that you see with a lot of players that are trying to keep their head down, specifically in the backswing, and what happens to their body as an effect. Okay, so let's set up to the ball.
So we set up to the ball, and we have the player thinking, okay, I got to keep my head down, and I got to make sure I'm striking at this golf ball. What you will see a lot is a lot of people will really hunch over a lot because they're so overly focused on head down, so the neck starts tilting down, which curves their spine, their upper spine, which limits their rotation. And then from here, what you would see so often is they would swing back, try to keep the head here, arms fold, they lose any part of any width in the backswing, which is huge power lack.
For sure.
And from there, all they try to do is just swing back down, and usually, as you can see, they bottom up well behind the golf ball. They chunk it. Often they also close the club face excessively because the spine and the hips are not opening and actually extending on the way through, which can help us to stabilize the strike of the face a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And if you just get into that setup position again, into that hunch position that you were just demonstrating before, what we will also see a lot of players do just from this face-on view is as you make your backswing, because they're hunched over, they'll actually stay in this flexion or this down posture position. Their head will actually move a long way off the golf ball. Now, Ty, if you start to swing back down towards the golf ball from that position, just using this as a reference, and start swinging slowly down towards the ball, we're going to see how far behind he is where he started. And that is going to result in a lot of shots where we're going to hit too far behind.
Exactly.
Right? Now, what is your ideas around allowing the neck to swivel? Because I feel like so many players, they get stuck in this concept and this idea of keeping their eye on the ball that they might not have the necessary mobility to complete a full, let's say 90-degree shoulder turn by keeping their eyes and their head looking at the golf ball. And we see that as a result, as you talked about before, the arms are going to break down. So what about the eye line swiveling and just training that?
I'm a huge fan of that. Right? Because once we start understanding how the neck reacts to actually our torso and our shoulders trying to turn and extend the spine, it has to swivel.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're trying to limit it, and especially keeping the head focused down, all you'll get maximum rotation through the shoulders is probably going to be somewhere around here. If you actually allow, you can always kind of point out, okay, I want to get the left ear to the ground. If we get the left ear to the ground, see how much more I can actually extend and rotate my shoulders. And guess what? I'm still looking at the golf ball, even though my face is not angled straight downwards.
And this is something really key to understand, is that your eyes, if I'm looking directly at this camera, they can stay looking at the camera as I move my head. But a lot of players, they'll keep their eye line and their nose, for example, if they're pointing in the same direction, only ever in the same spot. But we can move our nose, but keep our eyes fixated on the ball. So that's a great little practice drill that players can do at home, simply just putting their golf club across their shoulders like this, Ty, and then as they make their backswing, just allowing that feeling of almost the left ear for the right hander pointing down towards the golf ball, keeping the eye line down there. And if you just look at yourself in the mirror, we're going to see a huge amount of rotation there, isn't it?
Massive.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so that's how to stop from keeping your head down in the backswing, right? But we need more power. And let's talk about the follow through of those players who are staying two down with their head, their chest is staying down, their arms are bunching up, and they're hitting it a quarter of the distance that they should be.
As we're obviously extending and rotating over into the backswing, we kind of have to understand that as we're creating pressure back down into the lead side, club comes in front, hips square up, pressure goes left, chest comes back. You see also my head actually comes back more on top of the golf ball.
Very much so.
Now, we're not done there, right? So now we're not just going to go, great, let's keep the head down and just fold and let's chicken wing everything through it and chunk it. We also have to understand rotations both sides. So we need to make sure that we're also trying to create that same concept as we're exiting the golf club. So you can basically say left ear down on the backswing, right ear down as you're moving through.
And it's going to feel incredibly odd the first few times that
Very
we
weird.
do this. And every time that we do work with a player in person, we give them this concept. They feel like they're going to miss the ball. But trust us on this one. You do this once or twice with that feeling of a left ear down, right ear down, and you'll feel so much more freedom through the rotation of the upper and the lower body. And a surprising amount of distance can ensue. So what I want you to do is demonstrate a player who doesn't go left ear down, right ear down, and hit a shot. It's probably going to be very armsy. I still want you to strike this ball reasonably well,
Right.
but let's just look at the overall motion and distance as a result of doing this. Great, so pretty reasonable, but look, I know how far you can hit the golf ball and you're an extremely good player. That was pretty average, to be honest. So now what I want you to do, let's do your normal swing, left ear down, right ear down, and I want everyone from the face-on view here to specifically look at how the body finishes. So we stop and hold that position. What we're going to see is this beautiful convex look of the body. Now, any high-level player post-impact is going to finish with their chest tall, their belt buckle forward, their body extended, their right foot up on their toe. Now, that is a sign that you have moved to a very tall, powerful finish position, same athletic move, no matter what sport you're doing. For example, tennis,
We're always
if you were
extending.
throwing, they're all the same, right? We're moving through towards the target. The ball is just getting in the way. And to allow that to happen, Ty, it was really all about ensuring that that right ear is moving down towards the ground and getting that powerful follow through, correct?
Yes. See, one drill I also like to really do a lot with students in the academy is actually a very simple ball to the wall throwing exercise. And it's interesting, you get people, give them a football or soccer ball, you know, whoever calls it whatever word, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to hold them in here, we get into our posture, make sure we're keeping the chin a little higher, we get a bit more extended here into the sternum, and then simply give them the task of, all right, let's turn over to the right side.
Yep.
And I want you to throw this ball at the wall.
Yeah.
So that's what you will see automatically is because the target is much more orientated to the front, you'll see some pressure shift.
Yep, beautiful.
And then you'll see them actually orientating, instead of throwing this ball down to the ground, they think, okay, well, I got to throw it over here. So you'll see them extending the spine, getting the pelvis to thrust forward, and also the structure in the arms, they're extending forwards.
Yeah.
Because they're thinking, I got to release it more to the front, which helps them with their low point, their strike, and their face control.
Yeah, and I absolutely love that. And I think a really great idea for players to think about and concept over the ball is just a little mindset shift around what their target actually is.
100%.
So for example, if we're playing tennis, we're focusing on where we want the ball to land and the ball's getting in the way,
Yes.
right? The reason that golf is significantly more challenging is for the reason that the ball is static, it's on the ground. So players tend to focus on making their target the ball. But we want to make an athletic swing which is directed towards the target and the ball is simply getting in the way. The ball is not the target.
No.
Because we need to get it to where we want to go. And the more that you try and focus on keeping your head down, your head still, is going to limit rotation and you're not going to be able to get as much out of your golf swing as possible.